Welcome back to the Blue Review. Big CY, Clinton Yates, Greg Bergman right here with you. And we are not in the same studio today. There is no touching that is happening on this point, but you do get to see Clinton Yates move his pencil around like we're at LAX. And the Blue Review is always presented by LAX, Los Angeles International Airport. Hire LAX creates life-changing career opportunities for Los Angeles residents. For more information, check out Hire LAX on Eventbrite. All right, CY. So it's been a couple days, but Julio Urias had worst outing possibly ever as a Dodger on just a couple days ago against the Baltimore Orioles. He gave up 8 earned runs, which is the most he's ever given up ever in his entire career, period, end of story. And this is something that's really important for what's happening with the Dodgers right now, especially with all these guys injured and you're having Bobby Miller and Emmett Sheehan and Michael Grove and maybe Ryan Pepio coming up at some point because he's back and doing his rehab thing. Julio needs to be good. Clayton Kershaw's on the IL. He needs to be good, and having these types of outings not only hurts the Dodgers, but it hurts his summer as well. Or sorry, I keep saying summer. Why do I keep saying summer?
I don't
It
know.
hurts his winter as well, because
Yeah.
every other sport ends in summer. So I mean, my mind is off season summer. But so it's going to hurt his off season too.
I think you brought it up. I mean, why is it going to hurt his offseason? What's happening in the offseason? Well, everybody expected him going into this year to have a typical Julio Urias season and sign a big deal, maybe with the Dodgers or maybe somewhere else. And we were prepared to deal with that when the time came along. Well, the other thing happened, which is that he's frankly folded under the pressure. Let's be real about that. At some point, you've got to be earnest about what's happening from a competitive standpoint with the guy. And at this stage, that's what I believe, is that the pressure to perform in order to get that big contract has simply made him not the same guy. And that's why I think is more so than anything, pitching at home is more comfortable, because overall, this has just been hard. And when he gets on the road against a good team like Baltimore, gets hammered. And I don't just mean giving up runs. The ball is getting hit hard. And I honestly think, and I don't want to knock a guy and I don't want to jump on a guy when he's down, but I think this is a performance issue, period. I don't know that it's good. I mean, listen, did he have injury circumstances? Of course. Was the lower half mechanics not exactly what we wanted? Certainly. But I think at this point, it's just a guy who can't do it.
Yeah, but I mean, if there is probably some lower half mechanics and all those other things you're talking about, but it really is happening road only if it's a day game. And it's also the weirdest thing about Julio, and I don't think we've ever talked about this. It's the first inning. He has been terrible in the first inning for his whole career. That not just this year. His entire career, the first inning has been a problem. And I don't know what it is, like to the point of like, hey, it's the second inning, Julio. It's the second inning.
Well, I mean, but that's Greg. I get your point. You're right, but that's the problem. The first one is the important one. That's when you start the game. And like, that's where I feel that, yes, it's been an issue his whole career. Sure, it's only been on the road. But again, he's not a robot. This is all cumulative, and I just feel that whatever pressure he's putting on himself is obviously affecting him a lot. And it seems to be better at home than it is on the road. Now, that being said, look, his success rate is obviously critical to the Dodgers being any good this year. And, it's an interesting question, too, because as the trade deadline comes up, ding dong, you start to wonder, well, you're going to ship out guys for this. You're going to ship out guys for that. I mean, the problem is you can't really trade Urias because he's not good enough. You know what I'm saying? And so it's this weird double-edged sword. Who wants that right now? You know what I mean? And I don't know. It's a very... What? Who's going to trade?
I don't know. Okay, so I don't know if it's not that he's not good enough. It's the fact that it's just his contract. He's going to be a free agent at the end of the year.
Right. For the circumstances, he's not good enough.
And also, the Dodgers don't have any guys to fill his slot. We don't have somebody.
That's what I'm saying. You're not going to get a pitcher.
It's not possible.
Right. And so, like, it doesn't work. And I can't believe I'm saying this. I feel that the pitching situation somehow has gotten worse than it was 3 weeks ago when we were extremely concerned about it. Like, it's very unfortunate. And that's not a knock on anybody. Kershaw is in his mid-year swoon, as he does. That's how he has to be ready for the rest of the year. But my God, it's pretty disconcerting.
Yeah, despite all of that, they are 2 games up in the NL West. They took 2 of 3 from one of the best teams in baseball, in the Baltimore Orioles.
Yeah.
And now they're going to play the Texas Rangers, who's also one of the top 3 teams in the major leagues right now. Top 4 teams.
Texas Rangers, a team featuring a bunch of let's just say former colleagues in Haney and in Seager, a 2-time All-Star since he's left the Dodgers, which has been one of the more unfortunate stories, if you're thinking about that from a Blue Review standpoint, which is, man, how'd they let that guy get away? Like, I get it. You know what I'm saying? But like, that guy was a
He got
Dodger,
paid, man.
and he's good. You know what I mean? Like, there is no shame in lamenting that loss as a Dodger fan and lamenting it big time, and not just to say, oh, good for him, or, oh, we didn't need him anyway. Could use him big time. And guess what the team who has him is doing now? They're quite good. So shouts to Corey Seager. That'll be interesting to see him. It's also the first time that the Dodgers have played there since they won the World Series. So, you know, there's some good memories there, even if Seager's on the other side of the ball.
Yeah, absolutely. But like Corey Seager, I really can say good for him. He got paid
certainly
a ton of money. And this wasn't because the Dodgers didn't want him. It was that he got paid, like I think it was 12 years, 325, something along those lines. I might be wrong in the numbers there,
right.
But he got paid a ton of money to go over there, and that just makes sense. And at the same, when it happened, Trey Turner was still on the team, so you had the two of them. It made sense to be like, okay, you're gonna go. We're gonna try and keep Trey, and then Trey leaves. So it all just kind of, and then Gavin Lux gets hurt, so we don't even know what he would have looked like at shortstop.
To
so
be fair, Gavin Lux wasn't turning into Corey Seager seasons, but I see your point.
But the fact is, they thought that they had guys to cover up for Seager. Corey Seager was my favorite Dodger for a long time. He was going to be an MVP candidate at some point. I said it multiple times. But again, I'm happy for Seager. I wish he was here, but he got paid. He's doing well. He's playing great. Good for him. And I can't wait to see him this weekend.
Corey Seager is the reason why the Texas Rangers might be a World Series contender. They got a lot of pitching. They did a lot of other things. That guy was the most important move they made.
Yep. All right, that'll do it for this week's Blue Review. We will talk to you again on Monday. Thank you, CY. Thank you,
guys. I dropped my pencil.
Oh, come on, man. At least you can use the hand.